Okay, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our meeting, organizational meeting. First one of the new year. All right. First item on the agenda is
The first item on the agenda is in Nassau County Police Department May 2022 report. You have the report in front of you. I should lower it.
you just read feedback.
Is this better?
Okay, yeah, it's better. Okay. So on the Nassau County Police report for the month of May, 24 total aided cases, 32 moving violations, 26 parking tickets. Um, 6 larceny, other than auto. How much was the auto? 1 auto larceny. There were a total of, yeah, there was only 1 accident that had an injury, and it looks like we're getting fewer accidents, for sure. We used to get 2.5 pages, so we're doing much better. Glad to see. Okay. Yeah, it could be the drunks. Could be the guy I saw taking his shirt off and jump into the fountain in the Village Green yesterday morning at 8:30 in the morning. He was with a bunch of friends. They were drunk, in my opinion. Okay.
The next item on the agenda is to schedule a hearing for a local law regarding retaining wall as well as a setback on the second floor. This was scheduled a few meetings ago, and because of technical issues, we did not discuss it. Also,
We had some changes.
the text, exactly, the text to the law was changed as well. Last meeting, it was the election. So it's been like 3 consecutive meetings that we have not discussed it. So I think it would be wise to just reschedule it for next meeting, and then we could just have the public hearing and
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
possible voting on it at the same night.
Okay. Anybody have a motion? Second? Okay, Amy, second.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Is that on both hearings or just one of them?
It was just on the
Retaining
retaining
wall?
walls, and we could do the same
Okay.
for
It's the same one
setbacks.
regarding the setback. The setbacks, just a overview of it. The setback currently, according to the law, apparently that the second floor cannot be occupying more than 75% of the first floor. However, the law was changed, I believe, back in 2015, and there's inconsistencies in the code. So to just make the whole thing consistent, this local law will fix that issue.
Okay.
So is there a motion to set the hearing date for the
July
July 19th? It's moved and seconded. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The hearing is set for the next July 19th at 7:45 and at 8 o'clock accordingly.
Okay.
On, yes, I emailed it to you also. I believe your assistant asked for a copy of it. Okay. Yeah, I emailed it to you as well as it is on the agenda as well. Correct. A copy of it is there. If you would like to submit your comments, definitely I can email it to me. I will make sure that it's read during the meeting. Under the new business, we have a tent application for the property located at 54 Steamboat Road. They're requesting the tent to be erected and to be removed not later than 9/1, September 1st. They have the official fire marshal, I'm sorry, Office of the Fire Marshal tent permit, as well as the location of it. It's been there every summer,
Mhm.
and you can see the dimensions of it is 100 by 40,
Uh-huh.
and this is on the south side, I believe.
For the summer program?
Correct.
Okay.
And this is inside the tent at how
Yeah.
it should look.
I have no issue with it.
Is there, it's moved by Trustee Hope
Second.
and
Yeah.
seconded by Trustee Mendelson. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
It's passed unanimous. The next item is regarding Board of Trustee meeting schedule for the 22-23 fiscal year.
Mhm.
Currently, the next meeting will be on July 19. In August, August and September, we're going to have, or if the board wishes, we're going to have two meetings, first and the third Tuesday. In October, it's impossible to do it because the first Tuesday is Yom Kippur, and then the following 2
Third
weeks,
one
exactly, is the
is
last 2
Sukkot,
days
yeah.
of the Sukkot, exactly.
Right.
So I spoke to the mayor. He suggested that we should have only meeting in September and in November rather than putting it
Try
in a
to shoehorn
different day.
them.
Correct.
Okay.
In November and December, we should have the same meetings on the first and the third Tuesday.
Mhm.
Same thing every other month throughout the remainder of the fiscal year.
Yes.
June 20th will be the election. The following annual meeting,
How time goes. Yeah. Such a blast.
the first Tuesday in 2023 July will be July 3rd, the night before
Yes.
4th of July. So the question is whether you would like to have the meeting on that night or the following week on the July 11th.
I think July 3rd is fine. It's a Tuesday. It's the middle of the week. I mean,
It's a
it,
Monday,
when,
isn't
I believe, yeah, July 3rd is a Monday. July 4th
is a
is Tuesday,
Tuesday,
so we
okay.
cannot,
no,
unless
so then people might go away for the weekend, so we have to do the following week.
you want to do on July 11th.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to have July 11th and the following week again, July whatever it's
No, I think there are
18th.
2 more Tuesdays in July, so we might be able to do.
3 meetings?
No, no, not 3 meetings. I think that there are
That means
5.
the
There might be 5
second.
Tuesdays.
It will be the second and the third Tuesday in July.
But before we do that, let me just see
There's
something.
There's only 4 Tuesdays in July.
Oh, there's only 4?
2023,
Okay.
yes.
Do we need two meetings next July?
No.
We'll make a vote?
But we must have the first one because
Yeah,
of
so
our
let's have the
organizational
first one on
meeting.
July 11th. That's the. Is it too late to have the organizational meeting? We might have to reappoint the judge.
Possibly.
Okay.
So that's why I put down July 3rd. If you don't want to pass just the last one, we could hold off on that one,
Uh-huh.
and then we could revisit it next time.
Okay.
But it's up to you for the remainder of it if you want to pass it or if you just want to table it till next time.
Well, out of curiosity, wouldn't you be able to
Do you want to talk? Can you please talk in?
Wouldn't you be able to make those appointments at the conclusion, of the election?
You could, possibly you could.
I'm just
You
thinking,
can swear everybody in.
yeah, like this, it's done. And,
It's well,
I mean, unless
probably.
it's a change, and of administration, in which case they may not agree to it.
You know, well,
It was just a thought.
Yeah, that's a question that I'll have to
I
reach
mean,
out to
just the
NICOM
interesting thing
probably.
is that August has 5 Tuesdays in it. So we could conceivably do the 11th and 25th of July.
And then August
And
will be
then
on the
no-
2nd and the 4th.
4th, yeah.
And then it will be September 1st, first week of September. First Tuesday in
Yes, it'll be
September.
September like 4th.
Wait,
There's
but
no way
isn't
to
it-
avoid having 2 in a row. So let's just
Wait,
leave it July 11th and just have one meeting in July.
Okay, I will reach out to NICOM
Yeah.
to see if we could postpone some of the appointments to the 11th. Otherwise,
We could do it the night of the election.
we could do it the night of election, or if they say that we must have it before July 4th, because the village's year starts Monday noon, the the first Monday following
You
the
can't
election.
because
You can't have a holdover for like 2 weeks?
Not for the
not for the
judge.
Not
judge.
for a judge.
So if there are new members of the board, they're not sworn in yet that night. So
Correct.
Oh, I see.
so
They have
they
to
can't theoretically can they do the
appoint,
appointment? No.
which
Right.
reminds me of your oath of office.
Right. Okay. So
Well, let's leave it at the 11th. I'll reach out to NICOM, and then we can make a decision of on that on that
one
one.
second.
Sure.
No, no. David's raising his hand. I'm just trying to see one thing.
We have some error. Sorry about that. Thanks.
And my paperwork's everything.
Thank you.
Did Dawn already set the court calendar? She didn't go as far as July next year, did she? No? Okay. I guess I was gonna say we could do July 5th.
July 5th is a Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday.
Possibly.
Yeah. Just in case we have to get. That's the whole thing is I don't know if there's court on Wednesday, July 5th. If we need a judge appointed at that time, and
The elected judge can rule that night.
the elected judge can go that night. But let's stick to that. I'll have a year to get ready for that and not go to Vacation Village. So yeah.
So we are going at for July 11th. Okay.
Is the judge also up for election next year?
I'm
No,
sorry?
I think it's the
No.
following
4
year.
years.
Yeah.
I thought it was 3.
4 years.
4 years. Judges are 4 years. Is there a motion to approve the schedule of a Board of Trustee meeting with the last meeting or the first meeting of the following year to be on the July 11th, 2023? It's moved by Trustee Hope.
I'll second.
It's seconded by Trustee Mendelson. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 It's unanimous. Thank you. The next item takes us to the annual organizational resolution. There are 15 or 16 resolution. The first one is about the bank deposits. According to the resolution, as you can see in front of you, JP Morgan Chase and Flushing Bank, as well as the Metropolitan Commercial Bank, are currently the banks that we do business with. The second resolution authorizes the treasurer to bank with the following bank, as you could see in front of the screen: Bank of America, Capital One Bank, Citibank, Flushing Bank, HSBC, Israel Discount Bank of New York is new. They have approached the village with very attractive interest rates
Okay.
that even surpasses the Metropolitan Commercial Bank. That's why I've added it.
Okay.
So that might come in front of the board. TD Bank and Wells Fargo. That's the second resolution. The third resolution is regarding New York Class. New York Class is basically a cooperative liquid asset security system that sometimes the village deals with them. It depends on how much they pay on the interest rate. Currently, their rates are not as high as the Metropolitan Commercial Bank. The fourth one is regarding the claims against the village, that anybody who seeks more than $2,500 to be paid or has a claim against the village for more than $2,500, they have to certify and they have to take an oath that that is exactly that is the amount that actually we owe them, or they have a claim over 2,500, they have to basically sign for it. Anything less than 2,500, we do not require the claimant to sign for it.
Okay.
Resolution number 5 allows the treasurer to pay for certain payables, including for public utility services, postage, shipping, payroll, various health, dental, disability, and life insurances for the employees, debt service, and a retirement program, which otherwise, if it has to go through the board, it might take a long
Wait,
time.
hold on a second. Did you have an issue you want to bring up?
No, I just wanted to know about the wall. I'm watching for the wall.
Okay.
I have a few clients that wanted to come for a waiver for you, but I was told to wait because the code is changing.
Yes.
So,
I'm sorry that we're not doing it tonight, but we need to have a public hearing, so it'll be on the next one. All right, thank you. Bye.
Resolution number 6 just allows the village to pay the employees that they car their private, to use their private cars to go outside of the village for the same rate as the IRS approves. Resolution number 7 sets the official year for the village, which starts tonight, well, started Monday at noon, and will go to the following year, Monday at noon, the first Monday in July. As you could see on the
Does that
fourth,
interfere with what we just did?
so on the fourth paragraph, as you could see,
It's blank.
and it's blank, so
Okay.
I left it blank so we could fill it in. Resolution number 8 discusses the employee handbook, that everyone has to be given one upon employment. Resolution number 9 allows the treasurer to pay for the employees that they work more than 40 hours a week at the rate of 1.5 times. Resolution number 10 discusses the property tax notices that has to go out. However, the law is silent about if the homeowners does not receive it. So even if we send it out, the non-receipt of a homeowner does not exempt them from non-payment as well as not paying the interest. So that will not be an excuse. Resolution number 11 is just there in case that we require to
Of course,
take
I
out a
know.
bond. Resolution number 12 authorizes the mayor to close the village hall in case of an emergency,
Or deputy
inclement,
Or deputy mayor.
or a deputy mayor.
Sorry.
We can change it. We haven't
No.
passed it yet. Resolution number 13 allows the village to take out insurances on the officers, including the treasurer, village justice, acting justice. Number 14 designates an official newspaper. Currently, traditionally we have been using Great Neck News. Their office is in Roslyn Heights. Resolution number 15 allows for ICS. This
Excuse me. Shh.
So the ICS is basically a system that the Flushing Bank and a few other banks use that, as you know, the FDIC insures up to $250,000 for each client. It does not go based each depositor. It doesn't go based on how many accounts there are. So we require 102% investment. That means if we give a bank $100,000, they have to guarantee us that they have 102,000 in the bank to give us back. Now, up to $250,000 is secured by the FDIC. So if the bank goes bankrupt, the FDIC will pay us back. Anything beyond that, it has to be secured by a letter of credit, or it has to be invested in municipal or treasury bonds. So what the ICS system allows it to do is basically they swap with each other. One bank swap with another bank. So the village is 250,000. It's now with Bank B rather than the Flushing, and the Bank B in return gives the $250,000 to Bank A. And like this, now Flushing now has two clients. It has the village and
And
the
the other
client and the other bank. So if something happened to Flushing Bank, because there are two clients now, each one of them are insured for 250,000. This will eliminate letter of credit. This will eliminate a lot of the headaches that they have to go through to ensure that they have enough money in the bank to pay us back if something happens to the bank. So I would say please keep it. We have had this for years. If we could please have that. The last one is regarding the credit card acceptance. According to New York State Office of the State Comptrollers, we have to pass this resolution to allow for acceptance of credit card, as well as accepting it through the village's website.
Some of these seem very random, but yeah.
Yes. Is there a motion to pass the annual organization resolution as is presented? It's moved by Trustee Hope.
I'll second.
It's seconded by Trustee Mendelson. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
It is unanimous. Thank you.
Do we currently,
Use ICS?
no, the credit card,
We do,
Yes.
yes. For tax payment as well as various payments. We do.
But we charge a service fee.
We don't charge a service fee, actually. It's passed on to the consumer. So, for example, if you have to collect $145 for let's say parking, right, there's a minimum of $1. However, if it's, I believe, more than $300, there's a flat fee of 2.65% that is paid by the consumer, not by the village.
That's what I said.
Right,
We
and
charge it.
we charge 100%. The reason for it is, let's say somebody wants to pay taxes. If the taxes are $2,000, we have to receive $2,000. We can't just, say, okay, 2% of it went for credit card fees. This year actually was one of the first years that we collected over $100,000 in credit card for taxes. Oh, on that note, we are at 88% collection.
Oh, that's pretty good for
A little smaller, like 2% less than prior years, but
is it really?
it's still good. 88% is very high. The next item on the agenda is the appointment of Honorable Gary Slobin as a Village Associate Justice. His term starts upon appointment and it will end on Monday, July 3rd at noon in 2023.
Is that done by a vote or just by?
It has to be passed. You have to vote on it, yes.
Okay, so I'll move it.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor and seconded. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 It is unanimous. He is appointed. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the H2M 2022-2023 retainer agreement. The retainer is identical to prior years, which I just noticed that it's not posted here. So if you allow me, I can pull it up for you. I'm very sorry about that.
No, as long as it's the same as
It is
prior years.
identical, except that the rate for the partners, instead of $230, are now $235. Last year we made this change after the mayor met with them, that we had a set retainer of about $18,000 per year. We changed it. We said, you know what, going forward, just charge us according to the hours rather than this traditional year-over-year minimum retainer that we had. And I would say last year the charge was only $8,000. So Village actually saved $10,000 by changing the method of how they charge
That's
us.
good, yeah.
That's good.
Is there a motion to retain H2M as the village engineers for the year 2022-2023?
I'll move it.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor
I'll second.
and it's seconded by Trustee Hope. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 It's unanimous. Thank you. The last item is a tax cert regarding 266 East Shore Road. That's currently is occupied by BMW repair shop. The village assessor has negotiated the case with the AJDJP Realty LLC. The location is about 2.4 acre, 35,000 square feet. They are requesting a refund of 67,000. I'm sorry, it's very small. I can't see it. 67,000 for the years 2016 through 2023.
I'm sorry, 64,000.
$64,000. After negotiation by Mr. Donato, they have agreed to $35,000 over to be paid in an equal payment in 2 years, and the final assessment of 4,966,000. What they requested for a final assessment was a $4 million. Currently, they are almost at 6.9, a little over, almost at $7 million. If the board does not agree to this, we can go to trial. That could be costly for the village. That might cost the village more than $35,000 over 2 years. However, we have to take into effect, if we win.
Yeah.
But again, the chances of winning, according to Mr. Donato, might not be, beneficial to the village,
Yes.
not convincing to the village. Any questions or?
Nope.
Is there a motion to accept the tax cert as presented to the village? It's moved by Trustee Hope.
I'll second.
It's seconded by Trustee Mendelson. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
It is passed. I will notify the attorneys as well as Mr. Donato.
And you also said that they can't appeal.
That is correct. As part of the settlement, there's a moratorium of 3 years. That means for year 24, 25, and 26, they cannot appeal their assessment.
So there's some benefit to that.
Yes. This moratorium, by the way, is one way. That means they cannot appeal it, but we can up the assessment accordingly. The next item are the minutes of 6/21/22 meeting. You have it in front of you.
Yeah, I'll move it.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor. Is there a second?
Second.
It's seconded by Trustee Hope. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
It is unanimous. Thank you.
Take public comment. Abstract, so I'm gonna.
Thank you. The abstract is a little long, so I welcome people.
Public comments, please.
David?
Here's Lindiger, 15 Beach Road.
Turn it on.
Yes.
Here's Lenziger, 15 Beach Road. Anyway, I had a couple of questions. First, did the village fair break even or make any money for the village?
No, there was no, there was no money-making angle to the village fair. We
So-
did not collect sponsorships, and we got some money from the vendors, but it was a small offset, like $2,000.
But so we spent $50,000?
No, 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 no.
About how much was spent on the whole thing?
What was it, 18, 20?
24,000, about 24,000.
Was that net of the 1,800? Minus the money?
No, that's just the expenditure.
Total expenditure was about 24,000?
24,000 and about $2,000 revenue came in.
Fine, and it seems to me that there was higher attendance. I mean, never mind the past 2 years, than in,
There
say,
was-
2019 and 2018.
I think there was higher attendance for a number of reasons. We had, don't forget, we partnered with Destination Great Neck this year.
Right.
And they have a much bigger local social media pull. So that helped us a lot, and it helped them a lot.
Good.
And we, also, it was the centennial, and I think we might have even done better if the weather forecast matched the weather, but
Well,
that
the weather
didn't
was
happen.
great. I'm only hoping that if we have another fair next year,
Yeah.
you get more vendors and more artistic
Well,
vendors like we had this
we
year.
will for one reason. You know, because of COVID, we haven't had this in 3 years. This was the first time. And I already worked with the vendor operator, whatever his name is, Alan Finchley, and gave him a date for next year already. So
My only criticism is
by
that
having the date, the sooner we have the date, which I didn't have it so quick
Sure.
this year. By having the date earlier, he'll be able to reach out to vendors quicker, and then we get them before they commit to Garden City or Long Beach or wherever.
I understand. My only criticism is that on the Saturday night
Mhm.
in the Village Green, there was not enough lighting. And I personally was just afraid of falling and tripping, so I went and I squinted just about immediately, and I did trip.
Yeah.
So if we do it again, you need a lot more lights in the Village Green.
I'll tell the-
Another question
Tell the
I
Park
have.
District, yeah.
The building superintendent isn't here, but
Oh,
I
I
was
didn't-
curious, what does the village code say about sleepovers in churches and synagogues in our village? Is sleeping permitted overnight in
Private
any of
property.
our churches and synagogues?
I don't, it's not, if you're referring to what happened at Chabad,
Not in our village.
I know that, but if that's what you're referring to?
Yes.
That they were sleeping in a house.
Yes, so,
That's not, okay, so, I don't think we have a synagogue that has sleeping quarters.
yeah, but I mean, they were, the house was on their
I can't,
premises.
I can't answer the question because I don't know the makeup of each synagogue. If there are sleeping quarters, I believe that Rabbi Alon's synagogue has living quarters above.
Well, he has an apartment there,
Yeah.
and I presume that's been zoned for that. You guys approved it,
It is not.
Oh, it's not being used as an apartment.
okay?
Okay. So as far as I know, there are no synagogues that have sleeping arrangements.
Okay, I mean, you
I
know
can only,
what
I can only speak for the one I attend. There's definitely no sleeping arrangements there.
Right.
Um,
Well, I'm I mean, thank God that, I mean, I was woken up, and so were you, at 5:06 in the morning by the fire sirens. Another question that I had was, I've asked for years about house numbers on houses and residences in our village, and I see nothing has been done about that. Is there anything that can be done? I mean, there's nothing on the village website. I don't know what the buildings department is doing. Is there something you can do to encourage it so that our um, letter carriers, emergency services, and delivery services, and just ordinary uh, residents would know what the house number is?
Give me 1 second.
I thought it was actually in the code.
I know the building superintendent has said that's something that the inspectors will look at when they go out to properties, but from the top, is there not something that can be done?
Yeah, hold on 1 second.
You know, the superintendent and the village attorney have said the code says you have to have a number on each dwelling, but that's correct.
We know a bit about that.
So, fine.
Yeah, we do have a village code.
Right.
197-1.
Correct.
And we could definitely add that to enforcement.
Well, I would also hope besides just
I
enforcement.
would actually just say give notices to people. But yeah.
Well, I'd urge the village to do something proactive. And another thing that I've noticed is that some of the other neighboring villages send emails out giving agendas, notices of meetings, and so on as emails to residents, but this village does not.
Not every village does. We have a village.
Some villages do.
Correct. Some of those villages have, you know,
Email addresses.
they have email address, but they might have a tenth to, you know, a third of the number of residents that we have.
Yes, that's
So-
fine,
so-
but why can't we do it?
Hold on, let Abraham. Do you want to address it?
So, Deputy Mayor, we have, in the prior years also, we looked into this. I have a couple quotes from Vision, I believe it's called Red Vision, and then there is another one called Blackboard. These are the public notification systems. We have contacted them, and we have quotes from them. I do not have updated quotes. I never put it in front of the board just because the time was not right, but this is something that I have envisioned to maybe as a public notification system we could use. We can notify people by social media, by email, as well as robocalls.
So let's put it on the agenda.
It is something that Deputy Clerk will be working on. It's been a very busy month because of the election as well as the tax collection. So month of July should be a little calmer.
No,
And
yeah, so we could either put it on for the next meeting or for.
Yeah, Mr.
August.
Clerk,
I would just
Blackboard's
say,
a company
when-
I'm familiar with, and they work with a lot of nonprofits, and they've been around a while. They do a
Yeah,
very fine job.
It's such an important idea that we should put it on the next agenda.
next agenda? Sure.
Next agenda.
Absolutely.
Okay, and finally, Mr. Clark, we discussed this last month. Has the Moody's thing finally been solved or still not?
Unfortunately not.
Okay, thank you.
We don't have the staff to do the audits yet. As you know, Deputy Treasurer resigned about a month ago. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were asking me. No, that's what I'm answering the questions. What happened?
Okay, so
The
then
good
what's-
news is we're not looking to borrow from bonds anytime soon, so.
No, but it has to be done, and then you still have to get the 2021s done.
I'm
then
very
there's the
much aware of it,
2022,
and
so,
every email that I get from the Office of the State Comptrollers, then trust me,
yeah, I
I
know.
start shaking. It's not the.
Okay, very well, Abraham, thank you.
Hey, good. Jean Pierce, 44 Arundel Avenue. The Great Neck Fair and
Yes.
Music Festival.
Yes.
We budgeted 45,000 for that.
Yes.
And you say we only spent 24, so
About 22 net.
yeah. So the rest will go back into
It
budget.
never left. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It was
Because at one
budgeted.
time we used to make at
It was what?
least 10,000.
We budgeted
I know,
45, so.
we budgeted 45,000.
Yeah.
Okay? And we used 22,000 net.
And
after-
that was on just the
About
music,
22,000.
the music part?
No, that was, everything. Music was a big part of it, though. That was.
I have actually, I was reconciling it today. If you want, I can
By
just
the
bring
way,
it out.
I was able to stage, 11 or 12 acts for less money than the Park District could stage, one act. So we got a lot of bang for our buck on that. So
But as far as saying you'll get more vendors, it's impossible because the vendors are so unhappy.
no.
He might get a few new
no,
ones
we-
that
we're
don't
gonna-
know Great Neck, but
we will get more vendors because we're booking it earlier for next year.
it's not that. It's just the
I-
vendors
I've
know
had co-
people don't buy.
Okay.
That's the thing. So they don't want to come back.
Gene, I've had long conversations. With a longer lead-up time, we're going to have much more ability to reach out, social media, newspapers, get onto some of the Long Island bulletins that announce these types of things. And as long as Stephen Hope is happy planning
Oh, I'm
the
not-
music festival next year, it's going to be terrific.
It's not a question of advertising of that. It's just that the vendors themselves know they're not going to make even their tables, a lot of them, which they did not.
You know what? These vendors are used to this kind of thing. They go to a lot of fairs.
Yeah,
It's
I
hit or
know.
miss.
I'm a vendor.
We also had a terrible weather forecast. A terrible weather forecast.
Okay.
Sunday, July 12th, was forecasted for 4 days before.
June 12th.
June 12th was forecasted to have thunderstorms all day long. We didn't have any. But it affected the number of vendors that came out. It affected the number of attendees of the music festival. So, and the vendors,
Okay.
frankly, are not the biggest part of the event anymore.
I know, it used to be.
But
Remember?
but now that by the way, we would have had no vendors if we didn't add the music festival portion.
No, you wouldn't.
Oh, and in addition to the music acts, we also had, I had a whole bunch of Coney Island street performers. We had
Food.
no, we didn't pay for the climbing wall, but we had the magician, we had the bubble maker, we had a lot of different things that were very nice.
Food.
A magician, that was I love that magician.
No, I
Food,
just remember the
Yeah.
street fairs it used to be,
I think it's better.
where the vendors used to sleep in the parking lot
Okay.
at night. They came from
All right, so
Pennsylvania.
if it's less
Great.
if it's less of a vendor event
It will-
and more of a
yeah.
music event, so be it.
Okay. About the incident last Sunday, that was considered a sleepaway camp.
I can't comment on it.
And when
I don't know
when-
anything about it.
Well, when you have children, 5 o'clock in the morning there, obviously they didn't come for services.
It doesn't
They
mean,
had-
excuse me, it doesn't mean it's a sleepaway camp. They might have had an overnight. Chabad does things like this. So I really can't comment on it.
Yeah, it's not in our village, but there's a lot of.
It still has
there's a
nothing to
lot
do
of
with it. You
places-
might as well
It's
tell.
becoming a thing in our village too. A lot of the homes, they're using it, kids are sleeping over,
Okay.
so to speak. But are these places supervised? Have they been checked out by Nassau County? Have the health departments gone into these houses and checked? Have the people that work there been fingerprinted? There's a lot of things we have to be careful about.
Okay.
Okay. Steamboat Road. Is there any way that you would consider only one side of the street parking?
That's
It is-
this is a question I'd feel more comfortable bringing up when the full board is here.
Okay,
So, yeah.
because with that new JCC there, it is incredible, the parking, and on both sides.
Again,
Right
you
up
can
till late
feel
at
free to
night.
bring it up when the full board is here.
Yeah, because
Okay.
that is for the fire trucks too. I don't see how, if there'd been a fire the
I
other
don't,
night, they
listen,
could have got through.
listen, I don't have any particular opinion on it one way or the other. I don't necessarily see it,
You haven't
but I'm
been
not
there.
necessarily there.
Right.
So when the rest of the board is here, especially
We could
Trustee
bring it up
Cashy, who
again.
lives there, I think
Okay,
we'll
good.
address it.
Um, and 733, 741, now that we know he's not going to be continuing to develop that property, he
What?
has no money.
Sheridan. Isn't it
Seven,
Sheridan?
733.41.
that's Shemto. I don't have any of that. I'm not in.
What are you talking about?
Excuse me?
Did you check his bank balance?
Well, I was here when he told the judge he had no money,
Okay.
and you don't
Can I-
speak, when you're on
Can I
oath,
just give an
you don't
update on
tell
that?
the
Yeah,
judge.
Abraham, give an update.
Just two items. Just two items. Just
And if you can't pay your fines and you can't pay for the tree to be replaced,
Okay,
and
all
he
right.
says it,
All right, we don't need the editorial. Let him finish. Let him
well, you said,
respond.
do
he
I
paid.
know?
He paid. He came and paid the other day
No.
for the full amount. I saw him
He
coming.
paid the $16,000?
I don't know how much he paid, but I saw him that he came and he paid. Number one. Number two, I saw him upstairs discussing fixing all the issues on the plans because the plans has been sent out to ICC, which is the International Code Council, and he actually paid for it to be reviewed. And the review came back for the second time with all the comments, and he's in the process of clearing the comments. So I'm not aware of this project to be right. I'm unaware that if it's stopped or anything like
You
that.
can't stand before a judge and say, I can't pay
Well,
for
I can't
mine,
talk
I
for
can't
him,
pay
but
my
I'm
First of all,
just
fine."
there's
giving
two
you what's
different things
happening.
you're talking about. You're talking about either
But if there's
personal money
outstanding-
versus his LLC money for, so, yeah, so I don't think one thing has to do with the project. I don't know were the fines levied against him personally. I don't know.
Oh, that was just the Arundel Avenue one was personal, the other was against the company.
It was ordered to practice the use of the 1 million
Right.
Yeah, and they paid that fine, that was small.
Yeah.
That was a small one. It was the other one for North Road, was the
Okay.
big one. But if he has outstanding summonses, he's not going to be able to proceed to build, and we, as neighbours,
Okay,
want
I
them
don't
to
think
wait.
we need for you to continue presuming what the applicant is gonna be doing. It's just wasting time. It has nothing to do with me or anybody on this board, what he chooses
Well,
to
it
do.
has to do with our village, and it has to do with the residents that live here, that we have to look at that eyesore all the time. When is it going to be either pulled down or something done with it?
No, don't know. I guess you could ask him next time he's here. I don't know. So, you know,
Well, we do have
Yeah.
building codes, don't we? We have codes that you have to demolish something at a certain time, and you have to have a building plan.
this was discussed in previous meetings. I really don't wanna go into it right now, okay? It was discussed. There are issues with him getting financing, with the buildings
Yeah.
being taken down, okay? These are things that are beyond the scope of this meeting right now, all right?
So when do the residents know that we're going to have a decent looking, and the two vacant houses?
Listen, many residents object and throw stumbling blocks in front of a lot of these projects. So you can't have it both ways. If they're going to object and protest these buildings going up, and
That's no
and-
excuse for leaving
so-
a place like that for years.
Well, you
And
know
now
what?
you've got two
no,
houses
I-
that have no windows, that
you
are
know, Jean-
vacant. You can get vagrants in there. You're going to have a problem.
Gene, I'm sure when the applicant has his financing in place and his plans approved, he will proceed, okay? Like every other developer, okay?
We'll see.
How can you can't stand before a judge and say that
That has nothing to do with this application.
There's no more
Something
public
to
comment.
go through.
Abstract.
What are the difference between 28-inch cones and I know cones and 18-inch cones? What are these cones used for?
28 and.
18-inch.
So, do you remember, for example?
He's good at his math.
Do you remember across from Colony, Preston Road, where it meets?
Oh, yes, yes.
So remember those?
They're gonna put those things
Yes.
up?
So we asked the county if we could reinstall them, and they said it's okay for us to do it.
Oh.
I believe those has to do with that, and then it's the height of the cones, I
Okay,
believe it is.
I'm glad
I think
to
they're
hear
called the linear traffic something, I can't remember the exact name. Traffic control devices, I believe
Yeah,
they're called.
they're not
No, I know what you're
actually
talking
cones,
about.
they're
Yeah, but it
sticks.
was in the
Correct.
abstract as cones, that's why I wasn't sure
Right.
what it was, so thank you. Also, I noticed that there were a bunch of overpayments for the taxes.
Yes.
But they were under different categories, like there were a bunch on one set, and then Loretta.
Loretta. Loretta is the one that services Bank of Bank of America, Wells Fargo. Either it's Bank of America or Wells Fargo. So there we have three major banks that they deal with this. J.P. Morgan sends us the bills directly. Um, Almost 90% of the rest of the country uses CoreLogic,
Right, that's the one.
and then Bank of America uses Loretta. And then we have individuals that they walk in or individuals that mail us checks. So if it's overpayment by an individual residence, we just wait for the check to be clear, and then we'll send them back the overpayment. If it's from Loretta, if it's from CoreLogic, or if it's from Chase directly, we just process it because those checks we know for the fact that they're going to be cashed, and we're not going to have any issues with them, and we issue those immediately.
I see, okay. So that explains.
So it depends who sent it to us. They usually, when they send it to us, they write on it, please issue refund to such account and send it to this
Right,
address.
I saw them enumerated.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, the alert Penflex?
Yes, that is an annual contribution to their pension plan. It's not really a pension plan. It's so basically is a year of service credit.
Okay, so,
They can get up to 40 years, $100, I believe, per $10 or $100 per year, and these are based on an actuarial amount that how long a member of the service will be in the service and how long they will be retired, they remain in retirement, and then they come up with a contribution that each village has to give. Actually, they come up with a total contribution that has to be made to the plan, and then they divide it between different villages. Village of Great Neck is responsible for 40% to fund that.
okay. And, last one, there was an intern, Ruben something.
So I'm using him for depositing the checks, and he has a job 3 days a week, and I hired him to do the other 2 days a week, just work in the village. It's been a tremendous help to the village.
Okay.
Just I know it's a little expensive, but
He's employed elsewhere, though, you said.
he is employed by Northwell. He works as an EMT, so it's an individual that I could trust with the village's money.
Okay.
Because I mean, there's thousands and thousands and thousands
Does he
of
have a
checks.
background in this, or?
He has some sort of a college degree. I don't know if it's in accounting, but he does not touch the books. All he does is he just runs all the deposits in the bank, and he runs to the bank and he scans all the checks and he makes sure everything is deposited, because the batches that we get the checks and the tax checks is prepared by the main office, whether by the deputy clerk or by Samantha. And then they go to the next level, which is to him, and then he matches every check with every tax payment and makes sure that what we deposit is actually matches the batches. So that's what his job has been, to deposit everything accordingly.
I'll make a motion to accept the abstract.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous.
Okay,
Motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
Second.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Could I, before you adjourn,
Mr.
Yes?
Mr.
I'm sorry, I may have missed it first. Is it possible to make a comment on something, a village-related issue, I should?
Sure.
Okay. I just,
Wait.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
My name is David Aubrey. I live on 3 Apple Tree Lane. I
just wanted to express a bit of concern I had. I voted in the recent village board election,
Mhm.
and I was somewhat alarmed by the layout of the election process here. It's something I have never seen before. I've voted in virtually every election for every type of office for the last 40-some years.
What was your concern?
My concern is this, and I will show you geographically what I'm referring to, if you don't mind. And that is that they've switched, from the voting booths to the little, like, metal booths. Okay. The little metal booths were arrayed a row of, like, two or three of them over here, so that the voter is facing this way into the booth. Okay. The poll watchers, there were two poll watchers when I was there, and the translator, are seated above here, where they're like looking down in the direction, the back of the person who is voting in that little voting cubicle. Never, in all the time that I've ever voted in any election, and including the last couple of years when most of them have been with those little metal things, have I ever seen a voting process wherein the poll watchers are directly behind the person who is registering the vote, filling in the
Got it.
vote.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying, and I don't want to, appear that I'm accusing anybody of, like, that I don't think that they are close enough to actually physically be able to see what they're doing, but it does raise the issue potentially of intimidation and other factors, whatever, if a person knows that a poll watcher is watching them from an elevation directly behind them. I think that the next election or future elections, it should be arranged in such a way, as it is with virtually every other election I've ever been in, where the booths, the
Well,
little
I get it.
cubicles are somewhere, and the poll watchers on the side in view of the people, but not directly behind.
I understand. Let Abraham address.
Mr. Aubrey, you're absolutely right. You came early in the morning to vote? Okay. So I sat there and I checked. You could not see who was voting, what the voter was voting for. However, there was another person who came and voiced their concern, and immediately we changed the face to face this way.
I actually voiced my concern to the poll watchers at the time, all of the two
So it
poll
might have
watchers
been
and
you.
the translator. They,
You could have been. It could have been you that.
The gentleman, I don't know the names, but the gentleman who was in the middle said, he can't really see what do I care. The woman, I don't know her name. She had a mask
The
on.
point of the matter is that it was changed immediately.
All right. Well, it wasn't changed in response to what I said, but it was changed. You say according.
As soon as I was aware of it,
trust that in future
it was
elections,
changed to
it will
face this way.
remain,
It will.
Hopefully there won't be more than one more election in this building.
Well, and I don't know if the future building has, what the layout of that is in terms of this sort of thing, but I just wanted to, raise that issue, that's all.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
All right. Second motion.
Motion to adjourn again.
No. Stay by yourself.